Hey Canucks fans, let's talk about Quinn Hughes as a top defenseman, JT Miller as a top winger, and Canucks management overall. I'm Clay Emo. I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. This is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Wednesday, November the 11th. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. I hope no matter where you are, if you're in Canada, Remembrance Day. If you're in the States, Veterans Day. I hope you spent a few moments in reflection, in appreciation and gratitude for those that went before us, who fought for our freedom so we can live, especially in Canada, in such a wonderful place, in such a beautiful country, and hence the poppy. And I hope that you were able to take some time in reflection and gratitude as well. Because it's Remembrance Day, because it's a holiday here in Canada, I'm at home. It's a busy household, doing a bit of work, a bit of studying, starting to get our house prepared for Christmas. Not too much, but we're starting to move things in. And so it's been fun already with Gail and all three kids. But I wanted to record this vlog and talk about a couple things, a few lists that I've seen recently. You guys know that I'm a sucker for lists. I actually don't do a lot of lists as part of my vlogging. I think just because the style that I do, it's not like I memorize things or I want to have a cheat sheet that I'm reading off of. So I don't make a lot of lists, but I do like analyzing lists. I like reacting to lists. And there's three that came out recently that I want to talk about, three that come out in the last 9 days or so. The first one was on NHL.com last week, and it was the top 20 defensemen in the league. And of course, I get excited. Oh, by the way, when I talk about lists, there's two things I want to bring out. Number one, obviously these lists are very subjective, and it's up to the list writer. It's up to NHL.com or Bleacher Report or ESPN or Yahoo or whoever, The Score, Sportsnet, TSN, whoever's making these lists. It's up to them and their writers, and sometimes it's one curator, sometimes it's a bunch of people. Doesn't matter. We got to remember that it's one subjective list, and it's not the end all and be all. There's no objective list that we can all agree on. That all 100% of us would agree on. The second thing I want to talk about lists is the reason why I like them, especially when I like seeing Canucks players recognizing these lists, is, as you know, it's a sign. It's a sign that they are getting respected, affirmed, appreciated, recognized, acknowledged throughout the entire league. Other players, coaches, management, fans, media, whatever it may be. So I do like talking about it because I think it's important, because it means that some of our players and some of the things that they are doing are indeed getting recognized. So having said those two things, Quinn Hughes was on the top 20 defenseman list by NHL.com. And if you haven't seen the list, very quickly, on the count of three, you can do this actually if you want out loud or just do it in your head. On the count of three, in the top 20, where would you put Quinn Hughes? Or where, more accurately, do you think NHL.com ranked him? Okay? 1, 2, 3. What did you say? Well, if you said number 11, you were correct. So he's on the cusp of the top 10. Really quickly, I'll rattle out the names in order, but I'm not going to analyze them all. I just want to analyze Quinn Hughes with respect to them. So it was Victor Hedman, Roman Josi, John Carlson, Alex Pietrangelo, and Seth Jones. That was the top 5. The next 5 were Cale Makar, Dougie Hamilton, Chris Letang, Charlie McAvoy, and Miro Heiskanen. So that was the next 5. Then Quinn Hughes, Zach Werenski, Brent Burns, Shea Theodore, Drew Doughty. And then the last 5 were Shea Weber, Jacob Slavin, Erik Karlsson, Ryan Ellis, and Morgan Riley. So there's the top 20. According to NHL.com, Quinn Hughes right in the middle at number 11. So of course, I've been naturally inclined to always look to see where Cale Makar is on all these lists. Maybe it's because Makar won the Calder Trophy, maybe because he's playing Colorado, maybe because Colorado, even though they didn't get as far as us, they have a better team than Vancouver, but Makar ranks really high, almost breaking into the top 5 at number 6. Can't argue with how good Makar is, for sure. I've always said, I would never say that Hughes is so much better than Makar. We are blessed to have Hughes. I'm sure Colorado fans are thrilled to have Makar, and if they played in the opposite cities, I'm sure we'd be saying the exact same thing about Cale Makar. So Makar at number 6, and Miro Heiskanen at number 10. I really look at those two because I think we always talk about the big 4 of the 4 young guns of defensemen, of Hughes, Makar, Heiskanen, and Dahlin. Rasmus Dahlin actually did not make the top 20. I still think he's an outstanding defenseman, and maybe that's a bit of where he plays, and that's a horrible, a poor team in Buffalo. So Makar at 6, Heiskanen at 10, and Quinn Hughes right behind at number 11. For a rookie, I say that's pretty darn good. I will take that, and I fully expect Quinn Hughes to be in everyone's top 10 list next season, at the end of next season. So Canucks fans, we don't have to go through why Quinn Hughes is so good. I do that all the time. But quick question is, Are you fine with where he is at number 11 in comparison to everyone else, and especially Makar at 6 and Houston at 10? Interesting thing, Zach Werenski is number 12, and a lot of people are talking about maybe he, and actually Charlie McAvoy at number 9. So McAvoy at 9, Werenski at 12, Hughes right between them at 11. And I bring that up because a lot of people are looking at McAvoy and Werenski as contract comparables to Hughes when it comes to time for a new contract, and that's like in 3 years between $5 and $6 million range. Okay, let's move on now to the top 20 wingers. The NHL.com list released 2 days ago, and JT Miller made this list, top 20. So again, think in your head, where in the top 20 would you put JT Miller among wingers, left wing or right wing in the entire NHL? So on the count of 3, blurt it out or just think about it in your head. 1, 2, 3. If you said 17, you are correct. So he barely made the top 20, but this is the list. Panarin, Pastrnak, Kucherov, Ovechkin, and Kane are your top 5. Marchand, Marner, Rantanen, Huberdeau, and Stone are the next 5. Then you go Wheeler, Connor, Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, Laine, and Pacioretty. And then last 5 are Gaudreau, Miller, Giroux, Tarasenko, and Gensel. So can't really argue where he is. You wouldn't call JT Miller a top 10 winger, maybe overall, when you look at guys like Panarin, Pastrnak, Kucherov, Ovechkin, Kane, Marner, those guys, Rantanen, I wouldn't rank him above there. Maybe I'd put him in the higher teens, maybe in the 13, 14 range, or maybe even 12, but I don't think we could argue that he's a top 10 winger yet. Maybe if he has another great season with Vancouver, then he knocks on the door of the top 10, but we're not complaining. He was really a surprise, I think. I think we were hopeful that we would get him, that he would do well. I mean, given how much we gave up for him on draft day last year, but he surprised everyone, leading the team in scoring. And I think he was, obviously a very, very strong player for the Canucks. And to have him at number 17, I think it's pretty good. A bunch of some really good players in Gaudreau, Giroux, Tarasenko, and Gensel. Will Brock Besser make that list in upcoming years? We'd hope so. But again, we give props to JT Miller. And I get the next question then in this vlog is, are you surprised with JT Miller ranking? Either is that too high or too low, or is that just about right? Finally, I want to talk about a piece that came out this morning in The Athletic. I subscribe to The Athletic, and they have some good Canucks coverage, and they have good NHL coverage. And Don Luszczyszyn, one of their stats gurus, put together the front office confidence rankings for every NHL team. And they basically have people write in, do a poll, and they break it down in two categories: the actual fan base, if you declare yourself a Vancouver Canucks fan, or general NHL fans. So out of 31 teams, guess where the Canucks finished? Remember, this is confidence in your front office management. Think about it. If you said 25th, you are correct. So really low, 6 from the bottom, but actually an improvement. In the prior years before that, 4 years ago, they were 30th, then 28th, then 29th 5 years ago. So 30, 28, 29, and now 25th. So the Canucks are moving up, trying to get out of the bottom quarter of the league. But in coming in 25th, not surprisingly, the marks from our fan base across the board were almost half a point lower than on a scale of, I think it was 1 to 6, not 1 to 5. Is it 1 to 6? Let me check real quick. Is it 1 to 6 or is it 1 to 5? It is indeed 1 to 5. So on a scale of 1 to 5, the rankings that our fan base gave the Canucks are about half a point lower than the rankings that the entire NHL fan base gave the Vancouver Canucks. And then, there are 6 categories of roster building, cap management, draft and development, trading, free agency, and vision. And again, we were in all 6 of those, the fan base score was a lot lower than public opinion score. But there's one place where the Canucks did do well, and it was in draft and develop. Across the NHL, they're ranked actually as the 4th best team in that, because I'm sure they see guys like Hughes and Pettersson and Besser, Horvat, Demko, and so on and so forth. Podkolzin and Höglander coming up, which is really, really good. So they're ranked 4th in the league overall with that. But even within our own fan base, and remember, this is when you're ranking your own fan base. Maybe that's because other fan bases are really high on their system as well. Actually, we only came in 15th, relatively speaking, when it came to our own fan base. But that was the only score out of roster building, cap management, draft and develop, trading, free agency, and vision, where our fan base ranked us, comparatively speaking, in the top half of the league, but right there at number 15. But the fan base of the entire NHL actually ranked us 4th in their entire league in draft and develop. So all to say that the confidence in management is slowly improving here in Vancouver, and we see that according to this study by going from 30, 28, 29, and now to 25th. But obviously, we still have a long way to go, considering that out of 5 out of 6 categories we ranked ourselves in the bottom, actually 5 in the league. Roster building 28th, cap management 30th, trading 25th, okay, 6th worst, free agency 30th, and vision 28th. So cap management and free agency, and they go hand in hand. We Canucks fans, we ranked this as the 2nd worst team in the entire NHL. So not a good look for Jim Benning and company, but at least it's improving, but only by a little bit. So obviously, we will see what happens this season, and if we revisit this poll next season, we'll see if the Canucks improve at all this season. But we'll see. By then, Hughes and Pettersson will have new contracts. A lot of contracts will come off the books, and we'll see how the Canucks fans are feeling about Canucks management overall. So I've talked about them a lot. I'm not going to say anything new here. Rather, get your reaction on this ranking as well. 25th overall, according to other NHL fans. Okay, so Canucks fans, leave a comment below on any of those 3 polls. Quinn Hughes, 11th best defenseman in the NHL. JT Miller, 17th best winger in the NHL. Vancouver Canucks management, 25th out of 31 teams ranked by fans across the entire league. Let me know what you think on all 3 or just one of those. I'd love to read, react, and reply as always. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Enjoy the rest of this holiday. God bless, and go Canucks go.